Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Amy McKlindon, and it's an honor to be your worship associate this morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. A very special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the first time. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and knowing that issues of justice and equity shape everything we do. A very special welcome to those of you who are joining us via Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Those of us in the room, if we can turn around and wave at our folks online, we've got 2 cameras back there, say good morning, and remembering that we are one congregation together no matter how we are participating today. It's great to see so many of you waving back on the screen. All right, and this morning we have the pleasure of having Reverend Patrice Curtis in our pulpit. I'll invite Reverend Patrice to light our chalice as we recite our covenant together. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship. Thus do we covenant. We are so glad to have you here with us today, Reverend Patrice. And Reverend Christine wanted to personally welcome and introduce all of us to Reverend Patrice, so we have a short video message to share.
Hello, beloved UUCPers. I am away this weekend and beginning a week of reading and study time. It is my great honor to introduce our guest minister, Reverend Patrice Curtis, this morning. Patrice, who uses she and they pronouns, works for our denomination, the Unitarian Universalist Association, as the Transformational Interim Ministries Director. Patrice collaborates with and supports interim ministers and directors of children's ministry in amplifying and practicing diversity, equity, and inclusion within congregations, and in disrupting unhealthy patterns that make beloved community difficult to realize. Reverend Patrice could work anywhere for this position, and they chose with wife Nancy to live here in the Phoenix Valley, where Patrice visited family for more than 3 decades. Importantly, Reverend Patrice has asked, and I and the board of trustees have enthusiastically endorsed, to be affiliated with UUCP. Now, affiliation means that a minister who is not doing parish ministry is connected to a congregation, the lifeline of our denomination. Each affiliation is unique and up to the ministers and the congregations to determine what that relationship is and that makes sense to them. Reverend Patrice and I are working to come up with a covenant that works for us, but it will probably include having her preach 1 or 2 times a year and maybe leading a faith development class or something similar. There is no salary with this position. The relationship between the affiliated minister and the congregation is a covenantal one, like the relationship that you have with me. The congregation promises to affirm and support Reverend Patrice in their ministry, and Reverend Patrice covenants to support the congregation as well. Together, we affirm the values of Unitarian Universalism and live them out here in the Phoenix community. We covenant with each other and get to learn from each other and support each other in community with the important work that our ministry calls us to do. I will also say that Reverend Patrice and I have known each other for several years as we were colleagues in Florida, and she was the minister of the UU congregation in Clearwater. I respect, I trust, and I really like Patrice, and the potential of having her affiliated with our congregation is an honor and a delight for me. Reverend Patrice's affiliated status will be one of the things that we vote on in our congregation meeting on June 12th following the service. I hope that you enjoy having Reverend Patrice with you today as much as I've enjoyed having them as a colleague. Have a wonderful Sunday.
One. I am delighted to be here with you. Our opening words are from the 13th century Persian poet Jalaluddin Rumi. Something opens our wings. Something makes boredom and hurt disappear. Someone fills the cup in front of us. We taste only sacredness. For those observing Ramadan, which is anticipated to end today, Ramadan Mubarak.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Benji Messer, UUCP's music director. I'm excited to introduce you to this morning's guest artist, AJ O'Neill. AJ is a folk singer-songwriter influenced by pop and jazz. She accompanies herself on guitar and ukulele. You can hear AJ all over Phoenix and all over the internet if you look. And she'll be playing mostly her own original songs today, but this first one is by Xavier Rudd. It's called Follow the Sun.
Follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done. Breathe in the air, set your intentions, dream with care. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone. Brand new moon, brand new sun. So follow the sun, the direction of the birds, the direction of love. Breathe in the air, cherish this moment, cherish this breath. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone. Brand new moon, brand new sun. When you feel life coming down on you like a heavy weight, when you feel this crazy society adding to the strain, take a stroll to the nearest water's end. Remember your place. Many moons have risen and fallen long before you came. So which way is the wind blowing? And what does your heart say? So follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done.
Thank you so much, AJ. What a beautiful way to get grounded for our service this morning. There is a lot going on at UUCP, and you can find out more about that in our online newsletter, Compass, on our website, phoenixuu.org. I'll share a few announcements today and certainly check that out for more information. The IRC Welcome Center is in desperate need of certain items, especially men's and women's underwear. If you can afford it, please go to the Amazon wish list, which is on our civic engagement page, and you can look for items marked highest priority. The civic engagement team also continues to gather signatures on 3 crucial petitions on issues of voting rights, dark money, and caps on medical debt. You can see the civic engagement page on the website, and you can also sign back here in the sanctuary as well. And our outdoor group is sad to announce that the location for our spring campout is in the path of the tunnel fire. But we will not be denied. The campout has moved north to dispersed camping just outside of the Grand Canyon. It's a little bit further away, but it will also be nice and cool there. And there were very few other options available that wouldn't be too warm for this time of year. We've waited a long time to camp together, and we hope you'll join us in a few weeks on May 20th to the 22nd. Again, more details in Compass. And we are thrilled that today marks the return of in-person children's ministry activities on Sundays. Yes, let's definitely clap for that. Children and youth of all ages have the opportunity to leave the sanctuary together after together time, and Robert's going to give us a reminder about this as well. We'll have planned outdoor programming with a different theme each week. Masks and signing up are required, and water is recommended. You can sign up online in advance to save time, and a huge thank you to our staff and volunteers for making this a reality. So very exciting. And now for our offering. As you heard throughout last month, our offering is now a true share the plate. We've split all undesignated funds from the offering 50-50 with a different organization each month because we feel this approach better reflects our values. Today is May 1st, so you get to hear about our May recipient for the first time. Our Share the Plate partner this month is Phoenix Local Organizing Committee. Some of you may remember Mika Maharaj from the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee, who joined Janine Gelsinger in January for our UU Justice Arizona service. Now we have an opportunity through our Share the Plate to support this grassroots organization that has worked to eliminate poverty, inequity, and injustice for our Black community in Phoenix since 2015. One of their strategies is promoting food sovereignty, and Phoenix Local Organizing Committee is seeking to address the 43 food deserts in Phoenix, 43, by empowering and training the community to grow their own food, by distributing food harvested to those most vulnerable to food insecurity, and providing resources to community members to start and maintain their own agricultural businesses. Our financial support can help Phoenix Local Organizing Committee to purchase the tools they need to do this important work and to expand their hands-on training opportunities for the community. So whether you're here in person or online, you can text UUCP STP for Share the Plate to 73256. You can donate through our website, or you can send in a check. If you're paying a pledge, please remember to indicate that on the check. And if you're here in person, we have collection boxes at the entrance. There's even QR codes you can scan. Please put your money in there as you come and go. For all that you give to our congregation and to our community, we are so very grateful.
Good morning. Some of you know me as Mr. Robert. So if I could get the children, kids, kiddos, tweens, teens, young at heart to come join me for Together Time. As we were saying, we are going to start a kids program. It's going to be masked. We do ask that you register. And it's brand new, after what we've been dealing with. So we just need everybody to be patient and understanding. And I think it will work just fine. So if you have any questions, it'll be in Compass. Afterwards, you can follow us outside. There are signs and you can listen for voices if you are late and want to join us. And it's all ages. We're open to everybody. So this is a story by Maria Garcia Esperon, translated by David Bowles, interpreted by me, Spider Grandmother, Hopi Tradition. So long ago that the years are impossible to count, a spirit lived alone in infinite outer space. They were surrounded by sunbeams, a halo of pure light. So much energy bubbled deep within their chests that they knew they must create a world. Their name was Tawa, and from their hands burst forth prairies and waterfalls, an immense land full of mountains. In the midst of this world, Tawa carved a vast canyon through which a river of crystalline or clear waters flowed forever. But there was no one in those beautiful lands. Tawa then had another idea. They would create a grandmother. So from their hands also emerged Spider Grandmother. She immediately began to weave an endless web. And from that web came everything that was missing from the world that Tawan had created. Clouds and fish, birds and people. However, the nights were very dark. Human beings set out to inhabit or live in the first world. Spider Grandmother gave them advice, never ceasing or stopping to weave her web, to which she continuously added some new river or tree. Then down the mountain came a trickster whose name was Kayo, and Muangawe, a generous spirit, the creator of corn. Treating both with respect, the people lived happily until something happened. In their hearts, they lost their way. They began to behave so badly that Tua crossed their arms over their chest, and their crown of sunbeams grew dark. The people were frightened, and the sky broke into pieces, and the earth shook. A rain of fire fell from the clouds until a curtain of hail extinguished, put out the flames, and buried the houses. The people cried and tried to get to safety, but it was impossible. Tawa had made it dark to destroy the world and punish the evil that had taken over the humans' hearts. Spider Grandmother felt compassion, love for those who had kept their hearts pure. She descended, came down from her web amid the stars, and led the chosen ones to the Grand Canyon. When all had assembled or gathered, a giant hollow reed burst from the depths of a huge fissure or hole in the ground. Then Spider Grandmother said with a very strong voice, "My children, the first world is over. I have woven a home for you with beautiful meadows and blue buffalo, resplendent, colorful skies, and eagles of a majestic, beautiful flight. The world awaits, but you must strive. Work hard to reach it. You must climb upward inside this hollow reed that the Grand Canyon has gifted. Help one another as you go. After a long night, you will arrive at the land that I, your Spider Grandmother, have promised." The last humans obeyed her. They climbed up the great reed, and at the end of the long night, they emerged through a sipapu, a hole where ancient ancestors first emerged, a portal into the new world. They woke on the first morning of the new world. Spider Grandmother took a net that she had knitted and carefully tied dewdrops on. With all her might, she threw the net into the heavens. And on that first night of the new world, 1,000,000 stars began to glow. Any questions? All right. So should we head outside? All right. If anybody else wants to join us, feel free. Thank you.
As,
sleep, who say all you ever dream of are things you'll never do. I'm counting down the weeks till it's finally time to leave and turn all the things I've dreamed of to a list of what I've done. They can't tell me I won't go. They can say that I don't know. They can wish for me to wither while I'm wishing away. They might say with their chest, but it would be a waste of breath, 'cause I can't believe in doubters if I'm ever to be free. I've made friends with the monsters in my head who say a lifetime full of longing is a lifetime that is lost. But I am not yet that. I've got so much to do instead. Gotta turn all the things I've dreamed of into a list of what I've done. They can't tell me I won't go. They can say that I don't know. They can wish for me to wither while I'm wishing away. They might say with their chest, but it would be a waste of breath, 'cause I can't believe in doubters if I am ever to be. If I am ever to be. If I am ever to be, I'll make a list of what is me. Keep only what feels right and I'll be gone within the night, 'cause I can't believe in doubters if I am ever to be me. They can't tell me I won't go. They can say that I don't know. They can wish for me to wither while I'm wishing away. They might say it with their chest, but it would be a waste of breath, 'cause I can't believe in doubters if I'm ever to be free.
It is the time when we share the joys and sorrows of our community. Being together, it is good to share, to support each other, and to connect. For our folks on Zoom, please feel free to enter any joys and sorrows into the chat and put your name at the beginning. I'm seeing a lot of joys already coming in related to the music this morning, so thank you again, AJ. Those of you who are here in person, the Joys and Sorrows cards are at the front table. So as you enter next week and have something you'd like to share, please know that you can share that way. I've got a few that came in this morning as well. And I invite you all just to take a deep breath and create some space for the joys and the sorrows that are here with us in this room and that are outside of this room as well. And I want to start by holding space. There's a lot of heaviness that continues in our world, from ongoing war to the ongoing pandemic, to all the havoc wreaked on our planet. If your mind and body are feeling a little heavy today, and or if you're feeling lightness and joy today, because they can and do exist at the same time, I hope that you'll give yourself grace to be with whatever is present for you today. And now we'll turn to the joys and sorrows in our community. I'll start with our folks on Zoom. We've got a joy that Nigel Perez is excited about his upcoming trip to Alaska. How exciting. A sorrow, and I'm sorry that I don't see who this one is from, that a longtime friend had a brain aneurysm and is in the hospital currently on a ventilator. Oh, thinking of you and thinking of your friend during this time. A joy from Mary McManus that the stress of finals is almost over and I will be back home in a week. Oh, that's wonderful, Mary. Looking forward to having you back. And a joy from Eric Ariano. My cat Rosie and I made it to Mexico City yesterday. And I can see you, Eric, on Zoom. September. Everyone was really helpful with my broken collarbone. So glad you're able to make it there safely. And a joy from the Burke family. Our sweet baby girl, Cambria Shea, was born on 4/20, and she's been a wonderful addition to our family. We are so grateful that everyone is healthy and safely home together, and extra grateful for the meals and support from our UUCP community. Oh, Burke family, we're so happy for you. So glad everyone is doing well and that you feel wrapped around with support. And a joy from Rose. A very dear friend went into the hospital Wednesday and needed emergency gallbladder surgery Thursday. She is now home recovering. So glad to hear that. I'll keep my eye on the few that came in person today. From Scott Forster, 6 years after my brother's death, his widow finally gave me his boots off the shoe rack near the front door. Oh, I hope that brings you comfort. From Colin Becker-Greamy, regarding the Phoenix Youth Symphony Philharmonic Contest. I have a concert at 3 p.m. today at the Orpheum Theater. I'm in the Philharmonic Orchestra, and it is our season finale concert. Oh, I hope it goes wonderfully. And we have two joys for McCall from their daughters. Lilana shares, McCall just graduated yesterday and turned everything in that they needed to. Their graduation party is soon. Congratulations. I think, McCall, I see you on Zoom as well. And then from Annalise, today is McCall, my Wren's 37th birthday. While they are not here to celebrate, we had lemon cakes this morning, and I am looking forward to a potluck tonight. So much to celebrate in your family. And another joy from Rose. Her father is home from the hospital stay as well. So the joys continue there. All right, thank you all. I'm going to invite Reverend Patrice to lead us in a meditation.
Our prayer this morning is adapted from Shantideva, an 8th century Buddhist monk and major source of inspiration to the Dalai Lama. This is an adaptation by Reverend Karen Johnston. But first, I invite you to settle into your seat, to settle into your couch, to settle into the floor if you are sitting. Bring all of who you are into your heart. Gather all the places where you've left part of your spirit this week, at the grocery store, at work, in the car, in the parking lot. Give yourself the gift of being here and present. And I invite you now to take 7 breaths together slowly. Our prayer. May you be a guard for those who need protection. When you seek protection, may you find it and share it. May you be open to the companionship of others as you make your way to places still before you. May you be a light on the journey for all who seek it. May that light be never extinguished from your own sight and your own heart. May you be a resting place for the weary and be healing medicine for all who are sick. May you know the sob of others for your own afflictions, whether of the body or of the mind or of the heart. Where others see scarcity, may you see a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. as part of the boundless multitudes of living beings. May you bring sustenance and awakening, freedom from sorrow, and may you delight in our common existence, holding most tenderly those with broken hearts. Let us be together in this life. Amen. Ashe. Namaste.
We wear stars under our clothes, so nobody else knows. We've learned that there are those who will try and steal our light. Though I do detest how we run from all the rest, we conceal our very best, and it makes me feel alone. But when the day turns dark and we feel that hesitation, we must remember, dear, no one is a constellation by themselves. So I might propose we teach them how to grow stars of their very own, and to nurture them so bright, 'cause when the day turns dark and we feel that hesitation, we must remember, dear, no one is a constellation by themselves, not by themselves. 'Cause when the day turns dark and we feel that hesitation, we must remember, dear, no one is a constellation by themselves. We wear stars under our clothes, so nobody else knows. But we've learned that there are those who might really need the light. So when the day turns dark and we feel that hesitation, we must remember, dear, no one is a constellation by themselves. When the day turns dark and we feel that hesitation, we must remember, dear, no one is a constellation by themselves.
Our service today is entitled Awakening, and I've been experiencing an awakening of perhaps the most mundane kind, but it also feels transformational. I completed a 7-week mindfulness course last month, and more than anything, it made me realize how much of my life I live on autopilot. I hop in the car, and all of a sudden I'm at my destination with no recollection of how I got there. I multitask to the point where I don't even fully experience what I'm doing, catching parts of a podcast while my mind plans the next day and my hands do the dishes. In one of our first weeks of class, we were given an assignment to choose one task to do mindfully each day. I chose flossing my teeth because our instructor said we might surprise ourselves and really enjoy the activity by the end of the week. And I thought that would be a real win for me and for my dentist father. It was amazing how slowing down to really focus on flossing my teeth really set the tone for the rest of my evening. The sense of calm carried over into brushing my teeth and washing my face. I actually paid attention to the sensation of the water on my face, of the moisturizer sinking into my skin. When we debriefed at our next class, someone shared that they had shopped mindfully and they noticed the pattern on the concrete floor at their grocery store. I thought I'd give that a try too, and I found myself noticing for the first time a huge cluster of prisms that were hanging by a skylight in a local independent bookstore here in Phoenix, changing hands. I had never looked up before. To me, noticing the prisms, slowing down to experience the physical sensations of caring for myself, taking the privilege of the time that I have, and choosing to focus my attention on one thing at a time. Those are the daily awakenings I really want to hold on to.
Welcome to May 1st. It's Mayday. So the origins of Mayday are not exactly known. I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, and everyone seems to have different ideas. But its history in pagan Europe is one of celebration of upcoming season of growth for crops and animals, and celebration of life-affirming relationships between people. Raised on a farm in the 1800s, white Unitarian minister Jenkins Lloyd Jones wrote, "A mystic transformation does take place when dirt, water, and air are converted into turnips, clover, wheat, corn, and apples." Mayday asks us to attend to the growing season. For many children, maybe most children, maybe even you, playing with dirt is part of childhood. It can be an able building material. Sometimes there are living things in it, like anthills and worms and beetles. It can take on many shapes, fueling make-believe adventures. My childhood adventures were to lands far away, tramping through dangerous woods, the backyard garden, sailing away in a ship, the backyard treehouse, landing on an island where foraged food was the nectar of sweet honeysuckle flowers, kumquats, and fat blackberries hot in the summer sun. Sometimes if I was going to be in a strange land for a while, I needed to make a cup or a bowl to pretend to get water from local stream, the backyard spigot. So I'd like to invite you on this day when our little kiddos are here to play with me for a bit. So Albert Einstein used to do something called thought experiments, where he did visualizations of things that he wanted to think deeply about or feel deeply about, and he wanted to unmoor himself from life, from where he was presently. So I'm going to ask you to play along a little bit with this. So you might want to soften your gaze. Feel free to close your eyes, to lean back in your chair, to just relax. Now I want you to picture a glass of water in front of you. You got that? Now picture a mound of dirt about the size of a baseball next to that glass of water. Nothing fancy, just some beautifully common dirt, the stuff from a backyard or a garden outside the sanctuary. Now make a shallow hole with your fist or your heel or your elbow in the middle of it. And imagine picking up that glass and slowly pouring the water into the hole. Notice what happens. You might see the dirt change color. You might notice the water sits on the surface, or you might notice that it immediately gets soaked up by the dirt. Now here's the fun part. Mix that dirt and water together, letting it squish between your fingers or your toes. Keep squishing the water and dirt together until the end you have a nice pile of mud. Should be sort of sticky. You want the kind of mud that can hold the shape. So you might need to add a little more water or a little more dirt until you get that consistency. Now take this lump and form it into a ball, and then put a shallow indentation in it. Use your thumbs to push that indentation up, or use your fist to get the walls to come up around your fingers or your elbow. You want it to be in the shape of a bowl. Keep working it until you've got it in that shape. If you want to, you can take a stick and carve a design into the side of it. Now leave that bowl outside in the sun. Thank you. Come back into the space here. I hope you noticed the power of that experience. Maybe you felt your muscles tighten as you worked the bowl. Maybe you could feel the water on your skin. Maybe you could feel the way the mud probably stuck to your fingers or to your elbow or to your heel. Maybe you feel more relaxed now, just in letting go. So now, a few days later, we come back and we find that the bowl is dry. It probably has some hairline cracks in it, right? It probably has a few or a lot of lumpy places. I mean, you just use your body to form it, no technology to help like a potter's wheel. And you didn't spend much time making it perfect. What would that be anyway? So the bottom is probably not level. And the walls are probably unevenly up, and it's not perfectly round. The bowl was formed through the bonding relationship of water and dirt, the heat of the sun, and your energy. Hydrogen and oxygen, ancient beyond our ability to comprehend such a timeline. And the dirt is minerals and rocks and the bodies of things once living. The heat of the sun dries our bowl because of the relationship between atoms in the bowl and the atoms from sunlight transformed into heat. The sun puts forth light because of the relationship between atoms that make up its gaseous body, quantum explosions added all together. Your bowl may seem complete. It had a beginning, a certain water, and it ended with being dry. But really, your bowl is still in motion. And now, without pause, it is sliding from its creation to its degradation. It is already breaking down, and one day will be beautifully common dirt again, the water evaporating into the atmosphere to fall again someday as rain. Like your bowl, nothing is permanent. Though these last months of the last 2 years of this pandemic may feel otherwise. But really, there is only the beginning of the bowl, the becoming of the bowl, its peak creation, and then falling into dissolution, and then joyously beginning the process all over again. We forget impermanence is real because often the speed of change is so slow it evades our notice, because that is what our brain would prefer. The protective brain wants everything to stay safe, and once safe, wants it to stay the same. So it seems that a beloved shirt worn for 12 years suddenly comes out of the dryer with a hole big enough to relegate it to only home wear. And then one day, suddenly, our spouse snickers and questions our beloved shirt's very existence. I have been describing what can loosely be called a process philosophy worldview. Process philosophy was famously articulated in the West by Alfred North Whitehead last century, yet perhaps with a clear lineage drawn from Eastern philosophies, including Buddhism. In a process worldview, ultimate reality is impermanent, becoming and dissolving, Quantum particles attracted and bonding together, then peeling apart to join with other particles, atoms attracted and bonding together and peeling apart, and so on. Process theology takes this worldview and emphasizes the desire and call toward life-affirming relationships, supporting the worthiness of all people. It is deeply Unitarian Universalist theology. A process worldview is making its way into many academic branches. Theologians, quantum scientists, philosophers, astrobiologists, ethicists, computer scientists, and more are drawing upon a process worldview. Ontology, for example, is a branch of philosophy that studies the existence, the nature of reality, the nature of being and relationships, exploring whether consciousness is the foundation of existence. Would that mean that our thought experiment in imagining making a small bowl means the bowl exists on another plane, another level of consciousness of which we are unaware? Might all bowls only exist because some sentient being willed it? When I consider what it means to be awake in the world, it includes the concept that humankind has yet to know. It assumes that we do not know everything. I wonder whether objects like our imagined bowl might exist on another plane, perhaps right before us where we imagined it. Human bodies radiate an electromagnetic field that has been measured at least 8 feet wide. And the researchers who measure this say it's 8 feet because that is only as far as they can measure. I wonder if human emotions like joy and sadness, trust and fear, disgust, anger, surprise, anticipation, and all the nuanced emotions between are experienced on another plane of existence, of which we do not yet have scientific understanding, but is real and affects us nonetheless. Being awake calls us into fully embracing our connection to one another and to the cosmos. We often remind our children and ourselves that we are made of star stuff, that the Big Bang is written within the quantum particles that make up our atoms, that make up our molecules, that are the building blocks of our bodies. Dr. Steve J. Dick, an astronomer and historian, retired from NASA. Next week, he will give a paper at a conference called Astrobiology, Exophilosophy, and Cosmic Religion Toward a Constructive Process Cosmotheology. It's a lot of big words. The paper he will present is entitled Astrobiology, Cosmotheology, and the Biological Universe, Implications for Religion and Theology. The abstract for his paper is fascinating. He states the biological universe, the idea that intelligent life in the universe is common, necessitates a reconciliation of this new universe with dogmas of the Abrahamic religions. Other religions and their associated theologies will be less affected, but still need to incorporate this cosmic perspective. Discoveries in astronomy and astrobiology resonate with process theology in the sense that all theologies must account for cosmic evolution and the possibilities of a biological universe in which life may be part of the very fabric of the universe. He concludes the endeavor of transforming current theologies and creating new cosmic theologies is broadly characterized as astrotheology, a new and increasingly robust discipline that embraces the possibility of a more universal theology common to all intelligences in the cosmos. Did your mind just go? According to Professor Ted Peters, astrotheology attempts to construct a meaningful understanding of our human situation within an astonishingly immense cosmos. In 2020, the SETI Institute reported there could be as many as 300 million potentially habitable planets in our galaxy. Scientists estimate that, Ted Peters says that the discovery of exoplanets elsewhere in the Milky Way, some of which may be homes for extraterrestrial intelligent civilizations, must change the way we think of ourselves. Now, Professor Peters taught at UC Berkeley's Graduate Theological Union, a seminary there, and Starr King used to be a part of that, of GTU. So an ever-evolving understanding of Earth, our universe, and cosmos demands that we as individuals think about how we are going to evolve our own spirituality, our own personal beliefs, about how we are connected to this place and each other. At first, I thought I could tie our imaginary mud bowls into the great cosmos by quoting Carl Sagan, who wrote in Cosmos, his 1980 book, that there are more stars in the universe than all the grains of sand on Earth. Unfortunately, it's not true. There are roughly some 7 quintillion grains of sand, or 7.5 times 10 to the 18th power, for those of you who know what that means. Not me, but it sounds really great. 7 quintillion, quintillion. And according to science writer David Blattner, there are the same number of stars above us, thousands, as there are molecules in 10 drops of water. I heard this from our sacred Unitarian Universalist source, NPR. I will be shocked if future generations discover that humans are the only ones. I will be shocked if that happens. From deep speculation, we may not be alone right here on our own planet. As a non-theist then, I admit to questioning the way humanism centers the wisdom and capacity of humankind to put the affirmation of life first. When I consider all that is happening in the world and all the peoples who are suffering at the hands of other people. I once heard someone say on a social media platform that humans claim to be intelligent, but there is so much evidence to the contrary. From my mid-20s until my mother died, I came to Chandler and the North Scottsdale to visit her. I have seen this place change. I have seen this place grow and expand. Yet now living here, I go out into the desert. I find fire agates and red jasper, chrysocolla and geodes. I marvel at saguaro, teddy bear cholla, and hedgehog cacti. When I came here this morning, I noticed that there was a rock up here. And I asked Amy, do you guys use this rock for something? And she said, no, I don't think I've ever seen it. But it's shiny. To me, I'm in Arizona when I see random rocks around. Despite my having lived in a city in the Sahara Desert, living here is gently offering me an ever-growing appreciation of the Sonora Desert. We are star stuff, yes. But we should just as easily say that we are made of earth stuff. The ingestion of needed nutrients grown in the thin layer of soil that covers our planet, the recycling of water, and the recycling of all the air that we breathe. We are offered the yellow snow from Palo Verde flowers, the prickly pain caused by a cactus spine, the love and support of communities that hold us, the possibility of meeting sentient beings from elsewhere, and so much more. I think the Mayday wisdom from our ancient pagan families saying, hey, you there, wake up. Awaken from your winter and spring slumber. Wake up. Celebrate life. Are you awake? Doesn't sound like it. Take this Mayday pagan gift and go out today and look around. As Amy was talking about, take today and be mindful. Touch flowers, play in the dirt. Say hello to a neighbor that you haven't spoken to recently. Happy May Day. Amen, Ashe, Namaste.
Growing loud, growing up, growing love out of our ears, telling truth, weaving lies, all the words I cannot hear. Through the silence, make no sound, hide our love deep underground, cancel plans to search around. Love is lost and love is found. Growing strong, growing soft, growing daisies in our loft, picking rooms, painting walls, and the blue tape you tear off. Making tea, making time, making plans beneath the soil. Now the water's out of boil. Share the love before it spoils. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, growing tall, growing out, growing infants like to shout, paying bills, paying fines, this is not what life's about. Lacking sleep and caffeine, found a penny with my luck. Now the coffee's warming up, pour the love into my cup. Ooh, oh, ooh, growing wise, growing old, doing all the things we're told, losing sound, losing sight, reading all our books in bold, longer skirts, ancient things, and the people you once knew. Come close now, time is through. Come closer, let me love you. Oh, ooh, ooh,
Deep thanks to AJ for the wonderful music and Benji for organizing it, finding her, and learning to play the bass. Our closing words are from the 19th century Indian mystic Rabindranath Tagore. The sky is filled with stars and the sun, this earth with vibrant life. Amongst it all, we have received a home. Out of this wonder, song is born. Namaste. Thank you.